Welcome back to our Year of the Bible. I am Andrew Whaley. Today we step into Lamentations. It is a short book, only 5 chapters. You'll have it read in 2 days, but it is an intense read. Lamentations deals with the central event of the fall of Jerusalem, the destruction of the temple, the devastation of the city. It is the defining tale for these people in this community. It is structured as 5 poems of lament and is most likely composed by those who were left behind at the time of the destruction of the temple and the coming Babylonian exile. There are 2 major themes you will find in the book. One, in the first 2 poems, you will hear about children, their plight and their suffering. The children are the means to call upon God to act, to do something about the suffering of the people. The second theme you will hear is the theme of a dying woman who suffers in great agony but who never actually dies. She represents dying while still alive. Now you might wonder, how are we supposed to read this book in our time? What can Lamentations tell us today? Well, Roman Catholic biblical scholar and longtime professor at Columbia Theological Seminary, Kathleen O'Connor, has done extensive work on the Book of Lamentations and the field of psychology and the study of trauma. And she says that the Book of Lamentations can give us a guide to how to deal with our trauma. The first thing she says Lamentations does is it is an act of truthfulness. The people keep speaking to God even in God's absence. Now, they accuse God of horrendous things, and they question God's faithfulness to them, but they always keep the relationship open. They keep speaking to God. Second, the people share an immense hope. They do not settle for the suffering they have endured as their only future. They cry out to God to bring about a new way forward, a new future. They even vow their own faithfulness in the face of God's abandonment. That's the power of their hope. Third, they cry out for justice. Lamentations is not a confession of sin on the part of the people. It is an outcry of the people for what has been done to them. And the cry for justice says, it's not okay that this has been done to me, and there must be another way forward. And lastly, Lamentations gives us language of resistance. These are words and actions of defiance that ultimately call on the people to take up their human agency to build a new path forward. So one thing Lamentations teaches us in the traumas and trials of our own lives is to voice that trauma before God, to demand a new future than what has been experienced, to acknowledge the need for justice to be done on behalf of the sufferer, and then to take steps forward in that new way. But what Lamentations also teaches us is that our tears before God are okay, and that our tears must be cried. And only after all our tears are cried out do we discover a new way forward into the future.